All right, guys, so here we are back on the old OBS Chevy truck, I think 98 model. Little short bed. Previous videos, if you haven't kept up with this one, we replaced this section and the outer wheelhouse, welded all that up. There's videos on the channel of doing that. This time around, Bobby the body man has finally got the body work. We'd say a good 80% there. I did get it over, and the transitions front and back of this thing were just slightly off. I mean, we could have fixed it with primer, but I went ahead and just put a light coat of glaze on there to be able to block that out and make it work. We're going to start out in this one cleaning up down here, getting rid of this chip guard tape stuff, taking care of the chips there while we're waiting on this to dry. Yeah, so hey, the goal at the end of the video, we're going to have primer on this thing. It's spritz of the stuff on there. Alcohol's okay to wipe with, right? Nice, fast drying. Should come off there clean. Okay, can you guys see the difference in the scratches here? Got straight lines, got the dual action sander. This is what we want, a nice even like feather edge out away from all of our body work. We're still working. I'm going to finish this section of glaze out. This section over here, it's already done. So 80, 180, no more linear scratches in this. I didn't sand over the body work because it is super close and already finished with 180. I just come back through here with a piece of 180 sandpaper folded up, just getting rid of all the shiny stuff on this whole thing. And then the next deal, you got to decide, are you going to be neat or are you going to just let her fly? Because we could just clean this and blow primer on it and overspray everything, but I would rather mask it off, so that's my next step. All right, you'd think I'd have some kind of fancy machine or something to put this on. Not hardly, all manual labor right here. All right, let's just take this roll and we'll start out down here. About ready to get this thing primed? I know I am. And butcher wrap this sucker up in some white masking. It's going to be awesome. You could use plastic if you wanted to do this. It doesn't matter with me. You do what you want. I like the masking paper because the overspray doesn't flake off of it after it's on there for a while. Well, I guess I've become so nonchalant about this, I didn't even record mixing this, but MP 175, 172 is black. Epoxy, we're gonna let this sit for about 30 minutes and hammer on a couple of coats over that bodywork and bare metal. You can see what we got going over here. We're all masked up to keep overspray out of the inside of the bed. I put a little piece up in here to keep from overspraying inside of the wheel wells. I still got to mask this side off and might put something up here, might not. Yeah, just that little bit of stuff left and we'll be spraying. We got a lot of dirt on here, so we're going with the 2 wipe down method. Yeah, I'm gonna hose it down pretty good on here, wipe it off, and then I'll probably wipe it off one more time just to make sure we got it clean. Look at that. Just look at that, would you? And I blew this off right before I turned that camera on. Wow, so much. Yeah, I don't know, you should probably do like a 2x2 area or something like that. Maybe not try to wipe off the entire side at one time. I don't know. But you can see we got some light on the subject for you over here. We're using the LED entryway light converted to a one of those halogen lamp stands that used to be so popular. I took and put me an LED light on that. If you guys even care, it does make a lot of light. I just wonder if it's going to flicker in the video or not. That's irritating. Alright, this is like doing their professional grade here, guys. Yeah, so you can see, pretty filthy. We're going to hit it one more time. Yeah, this stuff's going to take a minute to dry. I'm going to have to put a fan on it, fellas. You know, you can always wipe it off more too. If you don't feel like you got it clean enough, by all means, clean it again. I'm saying that was a good amount of crap to come off there. We might ought to wipe that side one more time while we're doing, just to be sure. You guys use microfibers for this? Let me know. I've been thinking about them, but I just like the idea of, I guess, throwing towels away. I don't know. So, yeah. I mean, you can kind of see what you're going to get, even with the old wax and grease remover on there. All right, 4:1 is our mix ratio for our primer. I've sat here and stirred it. We should be good. We're gonna make as much as we can make of this stuff using this smaller, or I guess 24-ounce ratio cup. Put our hardener in there. We're just gonna do straight 4:1. So we end up with a Hogh Build Primer, not just surfacer. And we want to stir this up immediately. Give it a good stir. All right, so there's after 2 coats of primer on it. Not too bad. I mean, you can expect to have a few waves, but not a lot of stuff to have to worry about blocking out or anything. Now I am going to put one more coat of primer on it. Just to be clear on that, it needs 3 good wet coats every time you put Hogh Build on. You should do that. This side's just a little bit wet. It's pretty cool out here. So we're going to give this stuff some dry time so we don't have issues with it. That's right, simple brake clean, easiest way to clean a spray gun ever. Well, there you go, guys. 3 wet coats of primer over 2 wet coats of epoxy. this thing should be well protected and a short time of blocking away from being nice again. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the process here. I would guide coat it, but I like to wait till the primer is fully cured before I hit it with any guide coat, just because that guide coat has a tendency to sink down in there and you end up having to sand more than you really need to. So we got our gun clean. We've got our couple coats of epoxy on here to protect the metal, then 3 wet coats of Hogh Build on top of that so that we have something to block sand. It's nice using that contrast of the black and then the light gray on top of it. So when I'm sanding this, I know when I start to see black when I'm going through, yeah, I know when to stop before I hit bare metal. Now, I want to take you guys to this place of checking millage. So this X-Tech mill gauge, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on here so it can power up. This measures how thick paint film is, and this particular gauge will read on steel or aluminum. Powered up now, and we're going to check here a couple areas, maybe 3, 4 of them. We got 7 mils right there. I'm going to move down. There is 687. So what is a mil? Well, a mil is a unit of measure used to describe paint thickness or the thickness of a film on something. So here we're 545. So that's basically, I want to say 5.5 thousandths of paint on here. 1 mil, 1,000th of an inch. That is pretty crazy that paint is that thin, right? If we go and check a OEM finish, the whole thing might be 6 mils thick if it has like a white pearl finish. Now, I'm just checking this to see. The paint manufacturer wants you to have like 3 mils in the undercoat, so that's everything below your base coat. Be your epoxy on the metal, your primer surfacer, okay, your sealer on top of that. That's all the undercoat system. And it's important to have that thickness. That protects the bare metal. Now this, we still have to sand it yet. I got to guide coat it first and do a bunch of blocking. And I'll end up putting possibly more Hogh Build on it. I may not need that, and I may just go right into sealing it. Just depends on how straight it is. That's what I go by. All right, let me wipe this off for you so you can see there. You saw me guide coat it a little bit. Yeah, and just using a good old Durablock 180. We're not building something that's going to the car shows. We're just painting something up, trying to make it pretty straight. You can see the guide coat is left in the low areas. It all sands off on the high areas. You can see the texture in the primer. I mean, you can see that might be the end of a wipe of body filler. Here's a little spot that probably should have had body filler or glaze on it. Up here, yeah, we're gonna cut that down until the guide coat's all gone. And yeah, if we have any primer left, we'll move on to paint. If we go down to metal, we'll stop blocking. I mean, if we see that black epoxy, we know we're about to hit metal, so we might as well stop then, right? Yeah, this is kind of what it is. It's just a lot of hours spent going over this thing, blocking it out. Hey, I appreciate all of you watching my channel and checking this out. Ton of sanding. Not the greatest content to sit and watch, so I'm going to do all of this off camera. And yeah, I'll bring you guys back in when we're getting ready to seal and paint this thing. I have the cab and the front end of it is all already body worked. Everything's done. There's some other videos of doing rust repair on this truck, on the bed also. So you can go back, check the playlist out, watch those. If you enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know what I can do better. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And we will check you guys out on the next video, okay? Man, that's a lot of sanding to do.